Okay, welcome to another session on math tutorial. So we are now on topic number 10, which is factoring polynomials. To determine the factors of a polynomial, you can use factor theorem, synthetic division, or the remainder theorem. Okay, let's have an example number 1. So let's have x squared plus 6x plus 8. So in order to factor, since the constant is 8, what are the possible factors of 8, or what are the factors of 8? So let us list down. So we have 1, we can have positive 1, positive 2, positive 4, 8. You can also use negative. Okay, so let us use 1 as the test 0. So if you use 1 as the test 0, list down the numerical coefficient. See to it that it is arranged already in the decreasing power of x. So we have the coefficient of x squared, which is 1, the coefficient of x, which is 6, and then we have constant 8. Okay, so bring down 1, multiply 1 to the test 0, which is 1, so we have 1, then add 6 plus 1, that is 7. Okay, then multiply 7 times 1, that is 7. Then when you add, that is 15. So the remainder is 15. So meaning to say, 1 is not a factor of x squared plus 6x plus 8. So let us try another one. So this time, let us use negative 2. Okay, so if we use negative 2 as the test 0, so bring down again, we have 1, 6, 8. Okay, so bring down 1, multiply 1 to negative 2, so that is negative 2 since you are multiplying different sign. Then you add 6 plus negative 2, that is positive 4. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Then you have to add, so that is 0. So since the remainder is 0, it means that x plus 2 is one of the factor. Okay, so it means that x plus 2 is one of the factor of x squared plus 6x plus 8. So how did I use negative 2? So let us go back to our lesson. So we have x minus c is equal to one of the factor, which is x plus 2. So in order to get c, you have to add negative c both sides. So that becomes negative c is equal to positive 2. Then you divide by negative 1, so c becomes positive, therefore c is negative 2. So that's why you have here negative 2 as one of the test 0. Okay, so let us get the other factor. Okay, so another is, let us use negative 4 as one of the test 0. So let us write again the coefficient. So we have 1, 6, 8. Okay, bring down 1. Then you multiply 1 to negative 4. Since again you are multiplying different sign, the sign would be negative. Then 6 plus negative 4 is positive 2. Multiply to negative 4, that is negative 8. So the remainder is 0. So it means, aside from x plus 2, we can also use x plus 4 as one of the factor. Okay? So if you want to check, you can multiply x plus 2 times the quantity of x plus 4. So you multiply 2 to x, that is 2x. X times 4, that is 4x. So when you add 2 plus 4, that is 6, then bring down x. So that is the middle term of the given. So it means the answer is correct. So again, the factors of x squared plus 6x plus 8 are x plus 2 and x plus 4. Okay, let's have number 2. 2 example. So we have x cubed. So what are the factors of x cubed? Minus x squared minus 4x plus 4. Okay, since the constant is 4, so what are the factors? It can be positive 1 or negative 1. It can also be positive 2 and positive 4. So those can be the factors. Okay, so let us try 1 as one of the test 0. So again, arrange in the decreasing power of x. Then get the numerical coefficient. So the numerical coefficient of x cubed is 1. X squared is negative 1. Then we have x, the coefficient is negative 4. Then the constant is 4. Okay, bring down 1. So 1 times 1 is positive 1. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. So when you multiply to 1, that is 0. So negative 4 plus 0 is negative 4. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Okay, so the remainder is 0. So it means, since you use test 0 as 1, so one of the factor can be x minus 1. Okay, so going back to our previous lesson, so how did we get 1 as the test 0? So we have x minus c is equal to x minus 1. So multiply, add negative x to both sides. So that becomes negative c is equal to negative 1. Then divide both by negative 1. So c becomes positive 1. That's why 1 is our test 0. Okay, so let us get the other. Since we already have 0 as the remainder, okay, the negative 4 would be the constant. Okay, then the next one, since we have 0, so that is the coefficient of x. Okay, so we do not have x. And the next one, we have the coefficient of x squared. So we have x squared. We do not have x. So x squared minus 4. Okay, so that is our equation now. So let us now get the factors of x squared minus 4 is equal to 0. So this is an example of the square of binomial. So that is now equal to the square root of the sum and the difference. Okay, so the square root of 4 is 2 and also negative 2. So therefore we have x plus 2 and x minus 2. So what are the factors of x cubed minus x squared minus 4x plus 4? So that is x minus 1, x plus 2, and the other one is x minus 2. Okay, example number 3. Okay, example number 3. So what are the factors of x cubed minus 2x squared minus 5x plus 6? Okay, so since our constant is 6, so what are the factors? So we can use 1, 2, 3, or 6 also. You can also try negative. Okay, so let us try 3 as one of the test 0. So since it is already arranged in the decreasing power of x, write down all their numerical coefficient. So we have 1 as the numerical coefficient of x cubed, followed by negative 2, negative 5, and 6. Okay, bring down 1. So 1 times 3 is 3. Negative 2 plus 3 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. Negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Then, our remainder is 0. Okay, so what's next? So 0 is the remainder, negative 2 is the constant, so 1 is the coefficient of x. Then we have 1 also as the coefficient of x squared. So we can write it as x squared plus x minus 2 is equal to 0. Okay? So now think of factors of negative 2 that when you add, the sum would be positive 1 since the coefficient of x is 1. So what can be the factors of negative 2? It can be 1 times negative 2. You can also use negative 1, positive 2. They are both equal to negative 2. So which of the two that when you add produces positive 1? So we can use the second one because negative 1 plus 2 is positive 1. So we can write x here. So we can have positive 2 and the other one is negative 1. Okay? So therefore, the factors of x cubed minus 2x squared minus 5x plus 6 is, we have x plus 2, x minus 1, and the other first one while ago is 3. So therefore, that is x minus 3. Okay? So these are the factors of x cubed minus 2x squared minus 5x plus 6. Okay, that's all for today. I hope you learned something.